All right, so hello, happy Thursday, everyone. Jodie here once again, and today I wanted to hop on and talk to you about this idea of trying to force growth because we have just entered a 4 energy month, which one of the themes of 4 energy is progress and growth because it's an energy that wants to create a foundation and get organized and bring things into form to actively manifest. But one of the things that we can tend to do in that state is to not take care of ourselves, to not take the breaks that are needed, to not really tune in and listen to our energy and take the breaks that are required. So let's unpack that a little bit, shall we? So, to start, I'm going to share something personal that I have been working through this week that is helping me realize in many ways some of the ways that I myself have been pushing. So I mentioned last week that I am taking Simone Soule's Truth or Dare program right now, and that was a big decision for me because her messaging and her marketing is so magnetic and it ignites something in me where I'm ready to just completely pivot and burn everything down. So when I first saw her program, I was immediately like, I want to do this, but at the same time, I knew that I had to approach it from a place of refining instead of completely burning everything down. And that's something that working with my numerology has been helping me acknowledge and recognize about myself because I have a lot of 5 energy, 7 energy, and 3 energy in my chart. And all of those energies are ones that kind of thrive at the edge of things, at the edge of transformation and the edge of change. So I naturally, that's where I go is to this place of, all right, let's just completely throw it out and let's pivot, let's change, let's go. So I knew I didn't want to do that with this program. And also, and why I'm bringing this up and sharing it today is because we have entered this 4 energy month, which is about structure, stability, security, having a solid foundation. And it's an energy of not completely throwing everything out, but taking a hard, honest look at things and where they can be refined or restructured. And maybe there are some things that you realize that you do need to throw out because we are also in a 9 universal year, which is about wrapping things up and completing things and evaluating what worked, what didn't work, and letting go of, getting rid of what didn't work so that you can make space for something new. So that's the interesting paradox that we are in, right? With this month of what can I refine? What can I keep? What can I reorganize? What can I build on at the same time? Also recognizing what hasn't been working, what I need to completely dismantle and release to make space for those refinements. And one of the hardest things that I've encountered this week with Simone's program is she asked this question of, if all the effort that we put in, all the work that we do, if it never resulted in any type of external reward, what would that mean? And you guys, that kicked me on my booty, and it brought up some things that I didn't realize that I was holding on to and that I needed to release. And that is, I had this hard recognition that I was still asking my clients and my audience to, in some way, provide that stability and that safety for me and to make me feel like I had arrived and that I was worthy. So it was my recognition that's what I had been unconsciously doing. And once I realized that, it completely cracked something open for me finally, which was that I don't have to get that approval or that signal that I've arrived from my clients and from my audience. And it's something that I thought I needed, right? Like, I've been studying and practicing numerology for something like 25 years, for a really long time. And I still felt like I didn't have the credentials, or I didn't have the expertise to fully stand in the fact that the work that I do is not about selling an arrival, but that it is holding the space, right? Holding the space to bring my clients to that edge of whatever it is that they are becoming, and that presence and that holding and that space being enough. It really clicked for me that unconsciously I was asking my audience and my clients to compensate me and make me feel worthy of even holding that space, or taking up that space, right? And yeah, that was huge. That was a huge realization for me that has fully landed, fully settled in my body at this point. So, I guess the key takeaway and the message for you guys that I am hoping to land on today is, if you are holding yourself to this standard, or to this feeling like you are not worthy unless you are able to prove your arrival, or to prove your to prove your right to hold and to take up the space that you are taking up. And I'm bringing that up because this is one of the biggest sources of burnout for so many of us solopreneurs, right? Because there's this constant drive to show up a certain way, to produce a certain way, to just be seen in a certain way, that can lead to burnout and to overwhelm, and all of those boxes that we end up finding ourselves in, where we question if we're worthy, or if we are enough, or if we belong, or if we're credible, or all of those things that we can put on ourselves. So one of the things I invite you into with this 4-month is the sense of belonging, and this sense of space that is uniquely yours. And that is the foundation that I invite you to refine and to build upon this month with this 4 energy, which is about vision. It is about presence. It is about security and safety that comes from a sense of space. And that's definitely the signal that I want to convey, is that not only is it okay for me to fully take up my own space, but to also confidently hold that space for you, acting as that bridge for you, right? And that you will feel that you too are allowed to take up your own space in the fullness of where you are. And that space is meeting you where you are, which is truly what the 4 energy this month is all about, is saying, hey, I'm that space. You are that space. You are held. You are enough. You are right where you need to be. And it is in that is the foundation of the structure and the refining and the stability and the foundation that you are looking for.